What if I told you that by the age of 20, someone had already become king, crushed multiple rebellions, and was about to embark on the greatest military campaign in ancient history? This isn't fiction. This is the incredible true story of Alexander the Great, the man who would build the largest empire the ancient world had ever seen. Born in 356 BCE in Macedonia, Alexander seemed destined for greatness from the start. His father was King Philip II, a brilliant military commander who transformed Macedonia into a powerhouse. His mother was the fierce and ambitious Olympias, who claimed descent from mythical heroes. But it wasn't just his bloodline that made Alexander exceptional. As a boy, he was tutored by none other than the philosopher Aristotle, who shaped his mind with lessons in science, politics, and the great works of literature. At age 12, Alexander tamed the untamable horse Bucephalus, which no one else could ride. He simply noticed the horse was afraid of its own shadow and turned it toward the sun. This mix of keen observation and bold action would become his trademark. When his father saw this feat, he reportedly said, "My son, seek out a kingdom equal to yourself, for Macedonia is too small for you." That prophecy would prove true sooner than anyone expected. At age 20, Alexander became king after his father's assassination. Some whispered that his own mother was behind the murder, but Alexander moved quickly to secure his throne. He ruthlessly eliminated potential rivals and crushed rebellions in Greece that broke out after news of his father's death spread. But Alexander's ambitions stretched far beyond Macedonia and Greece. In 334 BCE, he launched an invasion of the mighty Persian Empire with an army of 40,000 men. The Persians ruled the largest empire in the world, stretching from Egypt to India. Most thought Alexander's campaign was suicide. They were wrong. At the Battle of Granicus River, Alexander led from the front, wearing a distinctive double-plumed helmet so his troops could see him in the thick of combat. He nearly died when a Persian axe split his helmet, but his bodyguard saved him at the last second. The victory opened up all of Asia Minor to his army. Then came the legendary Battle of Issus, where Alexander's smaller force crushed a Persian army led by King Darius III himself. The Persian king fled, abandoning his family. Alexander treated them with respect, an act that earned him admiration throughout the empire. He followed this by conquering Egypt, where priests proclaimed him a living god and pharaoh. But Alexander wasn't done. He pushed deeper into Persia, burning the great palace at Persepolis and chasing Darius across the empire. When Darius was killed by his own men, Alexander adopted Persian customs and dress, declaring himself the new great king. This wasn't just about conquest. He had a vision of fusing Greek and Persian cultures into something entirely new. Alexander's army marched on, reaching the edges of the known world. They fought their way through Central Asia, crossed the Hindu Kush mountains, and reached India. At the Battle of Hydaspes, he faced King Porus and his war elephants, creatures his men had never seen before. Yet again, Alexander's tactical genius prevailed. But here, at the edge of the world, his men finally said enough. After 8 years of constant marching and fighting, they refused to go further. Even Alexander, who had never lost a battle, couldn't win this one. He turned back, leading his army through the brutal Gedrosian desert, where more men died from heat and thirst than had fallen in all his battles combined. Alexander's empire stretched from Greece to India, covering over 2 million square miles. He founded over 70 cities, most named Alexandria, spreading Greek culture across the known world. His conquests created new trade routes and cultural connections that would last for centuries. But Alexander wouldn't live to consolidate his incredible achievements. In 323 BCE, at just 32 years old, he fell ill and died in Babylon. Some say he was poisoned, others that he died of disease or excessive drinking. His empire immediately began to fragment as his generals fought over the pieces. Yet Alexander's legacy lived on. His conquests spread Greek language, art, and ideas across the ancient world, creating a new Hellenistic civilization that would influence everything from art to science. Cities he founded became major centers of culture and commerce. The trade routes he established connected East and West for centuries. Even today, over 2,000 years later, Alexander's influence echoes through history. His military tactics are still studied at war colleges. The cultural fusion he started between East and West shaped the development of civilization. He showed what one person with vision, courage, and determination could achieve, even if it came at a terrible cost. Alexander once said that he was not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. He was afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion. He proved to be that lion, leading his men to achievements that seemed impossible. His story reminds us that sometimes the most incredible tales in history are true, and that greatness knows no age limit.